What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today we have a fun goat deck. We have the XYZ Dragon Cannon, the coolest machine fusion monster, I think, and one that doesn't really get a whole lot of love, I feel, in GOAT format. Now, it is a little difficult to summon out. You do have to banish the X, Y, and Z pieces, but I think it's moderately worth it. I mean, XYZ Dragon Cannon, you do get a pretty legit effect with discarding a card, then targeting a card that your opponent controls and destroying it. So, you know, you do get a little destruction there. It's got a 2800 body. But when you got 3 limiter removals in your deck, that can, you know, help inflict a little bit more damage. So in this deck, we're going to have our staple of Black Luster Soldier, followed by Chaos Sorceress. We do have our 2 Chaos Boys in here. We have our 3 Dekoichis, because they are machines. So we're going to be a little machine heavy in this. Followed by our 3 Shining Angels, because we can float into our Y Dragon Head, and our Z Metal Tanks are both light with 1500 attack. Next up, we got our DD Warrior Lady, we got our 2 Mystic Tomatoes, we got our Sandgan, and we got our Breaker. Next up, we have 3 X-Head Cannons, just because he is a big booty. He's got 1800 attack. Throwing out a limiter removal gets him up to 36. So not bad. Not bad at all. Next up, we got our 2 Y Dragon Head and our 2 Z Metal Tank. Going into our spells, we of course have our Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Delinquent Duo, Heavy Storm, followed by Snatch Steal, Lightning Vortex, Premature Burial, 2 Nobleman of Crossout, 2 Book of Moon, and our 3 limiter removal because we love beefing up those machines. Next up for our traps, we got 2 Solemn Judgment, we got 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, a Mirror Force, and a Return from the Different Dimension. So because you have to banish off the pieces for the XYZ Dragon Cannon, you can go ahead and plop that Return from the Different Dimension and get all those boys back. And you could, if you wanted to, go into another XYZ Dragon Cannon or any other combination fusion, because they do have a few for pretty much every combination for the little guys, I guess is what you could call them. But it's a 40-card main deck, definitely not bad. The side deck, we got a Jinzo. Jinzo is a machine, so limiter removal would double him up to 48. Then we got 2 Kinetic Soldier, not Cypher Soldier. Then we got 2 Banisher of the Light. We got 2 Kaiku, 2 Mind Control, 2 Compulse, 2 Dust Tornado, 2 Raigeki Break. And yeah, this is, it's a fun deck. I mean, I guess you really could play Dimension Fusion if you wanted to get these guys back a little bit easier, but that's going to be kind of up to you in that regard. I don't know if that would be the big play or not, because then your opponent's getting back banished stuff as well with Return. You know, you do get that luxury of your opponent not getting stuff back, so kind of up to you if you wanted to go a little bit more banish heavy, I guess. But we got a few replays. Let's go ahead. We'll dive right on in. We'll see what we got going on here. There's a nice little back and forth of rock, paper, scissors that went on for what felt like ever. So here we go. We are starting off. We got Delinquent Duo. We always love seeing that in our opening hand. Able to get that Pot of Greed out of there, which I'll take that. I'll gladly take that. So we summon out the Shining Angel with our Bottomless Trap Hole face down. They go ahead the MST in the back row. Bring out Mystic Tomato, which, I mean, hey, that we've got around Bottomless anyways. We Snatch Steal the Tomato, and then we get in with our... yeah, I guess with just our Tomato? Why didn't I attack? Oh, no, I did, of course. He just did the 28. It always throws me off when they do that when I'm looking back at the replay. So they go ahead, they set a monster, which is Spirit Reaper, come to find out. It's a good thing we went ahead and dropped Graceful Charity because we got that Nobleman of Cross out thanks to that. We were able to get Spirit Reaper out of the play there. They drop Torrential Tribute when we summon out X-Head Cannon. We attack in with all of our boys. Mystic Tomato, Shining Angel, and then our X-Head Cannon that we drop Limiter Removal on. So you're able to get the easy dub on that one. So, you know, sometimes you're able to just get that opening God Hand where you can just go in and, you know, whomp them real quick. And sometimes you get a hand that's like this, which is, you know, a little sit and wait kind of deal. But we open up Delinquent Duo once again, so we are able to kind of clear out their hand a little bit. We get Creature Swap out of there. We bring our Mystic Tomato. Now it's just a inverse of how it was in the first game. They get that Jar of Greed. They bring out DD Warrior Lady. They attack in. I didn't want to lose it, so I just flipped Book of Moon. Then they drop Delinquent Duo. Go figure. And, I don't know, I really did not want to lose Heavy Storm, so I just got rid of those guys. That might have been the wrong play. Especially knowing now that he had Kaiku in his hand. Realistically, what I should have done here was just keep attacking. Have my other Mystic Tomato attack in as well. So I kind of fumbled the ball on that. I also fumbled just not bringing out BLS and starting to banish some stuff off. I really should have done that as well, too. That really would have probably made the game a lot better, a lot more in my favor for this game too. Because as you see, we are kind of getting a little fricked here. It's not the best, I can tell you that much. And of course, thanks to Kaiku, we did lose our darks that we had in the graveyard, so we wouldn't have been able to bring out Blackluster Soldier. So, yeah. They get their Mobius out, and they are just kind of shrekking us up right now. It's no good. We bring out Breaker. We do attack in for that, but that's kind of just what I can do. I bluff with a Nobleman face down, but they go ahead and take it. So we're going into Game 3, and, yeah, we, I don't know. I was feeling really good about it going in, and, you know, at least I got Delinquent Duo on the opening hand. Once again, 3 times in a row. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Wow, I wish I hit that BLS. That would have been great. That would have been really great. But, unfortunately, it was not in the plan for us. They go ahead, they drop their BLS, unfortunately. They, yeah. They do that whole spiel. You know, realistically, maybe I should have done the inverse and do Mind Control on BLS and then banish BLS and then just attacking it with Breaker. But what can you do, I guess? That's why we do this, right? This is why we look back at replays so we can see maybe what we should have done. But I guess hindsight's 20/20 anyways, so there wasn't a whole lot I could have really done there. Unfortunately, we draw Lightning Vortex a little too late, and that's a game on that one. So here we go. We go into our second replay, and this one is kind of an interesting one. They got Dark Magician, Royal Decree, Dimension Fusion, Democ, and Fusion Gate. I really would like to see their whole deck, I guess. That's an interesting deck. So we got how we set our Mystic Tomato and Solemn Judgment. I figure we can kind of stop them doing anything at this point. BLS is a pretty heavy draw there for them. They set Royal Decree, they activate it. I did think for a second maybe I should stop it with Solemn Judgment, but maybe not. Clearly. So that kind of worked out in our favor. So Mystic Tomato, X-Head Cannon going right in for the punch. They set a card. We go ahead, we get our Y Dragon Head out, and they go ahead, they flip up Scapegoat, and we just clear off 3 tokens. So if they get Metamorphosis, they could have gone into Thousand Eyes Restrict. I don't know why they didn't. I mean, I would have Snatch Stealed it, but I mean, that still would have been a pretty solid play for them, I think. So we go ahead, we kind of just whomp them real quick. So, yeah, that's that's game one for that one. I don't know what kind of deck this person's playing. It's like a weird Dark Magician, or no, Monster Gate, that's what it was, like a Reasoning Gate. Blowback Dragon. But having Dark Magician in here is just so odd to me. There has to be a reason why there's Dark Magician in here. So they pot agreed, and then they just passed, which was a little odd to me. But we go ahead, we attack him with Mystic Tomato. You know, that's fine. That's fine. They Snatch Steal, then they Monster Gate for a Sangan. Our poor Tomato wasted for that Fluff Ball. Then they bring out Blowback Dragon from that. So it's actually, I mean, that's pretty good. That was pretty good. So they attack in. We take the 23, unfortunately. We go ahead. We X-Head Cannon. We attack in with limit removal, so he gets up to 36. Able to get some damage in. Get some damage in. And, yeah, then they draw Lord of D. Like, I don't know what this deck was, but it was an interesting one. It's just a weird Reasoning Gate deck. So they attack in for, what was that? 35. So they are dwindling us down. I will give them that. So we go ahead, we get our Premature Burial, we get back the X-Head Cannon, and then we Lightning Vortex, discard Z Metal Tank. And then we go ahead and just bring out our boy BLS, and that's that. That is that for the second duel, or the second match. So here we go. It's our third. This one's a quick one, but I had to put it in here because this is just, it's just such a nuts opening opening act, I guess you could say. So we go ahead, we just set the Shining Angel. They bring out their Mystic Tomato. Clearly they are playing an Exodia deck, so this is an interesting one. So we get out the Y-Dragon Head, and then they set Magic Jammer. It's an interesting card to play. We Graceful Charity into our Heavy Storm, Pot of Greed, and Book of Moon. We go ahead and discard the Mystic Tomato and No Limit Crossout. Pot of Greed into Book of Moon, or no, into Return and Mystic Tomato. Go ahead and Heavy Storm the Magic Jammer. Interesting one. We X-Head Cannon, and we attack with our Y-Dragon Head. They bring out a Sangan. I attack with X-Head Cannon. And then they bring an Exodia piece, and that's where I am just like, alright then, that is an interesting play. So they go ahead and set. We get Bottomless. Not bad. But we have our Z Metal Tank. So we go ahead, summon that boy out. We go ahead and banish them all off for our XYZ Dragon Cannon. We go ahead and use its effect to discard to pop a card on the field. And we attack in, and then we play Return from the Different Dimension, get all of our pieces back, and then attack in once again, and then our opponent just straight up left the duel. So, I mean, those replays probably weren't the absolute best of the best in terms of decks that we were facing off against. And there's probably a lot that we could do with this deck in terms of tweaking around. I probably could have sided better in some of the duels that I was playing in. I really got to remember that Jinzo is a machine as well, so that's, you know, pretty good with limited removal. But you guys comment down below. What would you do differently for the XYZ Dragon Cannon deck? I think keeping it at 40 cards is obviously good. But I don't know. Maybe putting some upstarts or some jars in here just to get that draw power a little bit more. I mean, the toughest thing is just getting these guys onto the field to get banished for XYZ Dragon Cannon. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough summoning condition. But if you can get pulled off, you know, you can blast some cards off of the field with XYZ Dragon Cannon. But of course, be sure to like the video, be subscribed with the notification bell, ring. Go ahead, comment down below what would you guys do differently for a build like this. I've always loved the XYZ Dragon Cannon. I remember getting the tin back in the day. I remember pulling the pieces from Magician's Force. It was a cool deck as a kid, and it's still a cool deck now. some odd years later. But yeah, we'll see. This might be something that I mess around with again in the future. And who knows, maybe I'll play some Dimension Fusions just to try and get, get them back a little bit quicker as opposed to waiting for a trap card to be able to fire off. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye, and good night.
I, Seto Kaiba, president of Kaiba Corp, implore you to check these recommended videos. While you're at it, hit subscribe and burst stream that notification bell for all future videos.